In this video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Velotric Discover one and the Velotric Nomad one to hopefully help you decide the differences between them and the pros and the cons and which one might be right for you. I've done a review of both of these e-bikes, so if you're interested in watching them, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll also put links to both of these e-bikes in the description as well. A couple things to note right off the bat is I got the Discover one when it was first released, so it has a few different features than the new ones that they sell today, and I'll discuss that in a moment. So there are a few differences, and also I wanted to let you know that this mirror and this phone holder don't come with the e-bike. I bought these separately just to add on because I used to ride this bike all the time, so just know that as well, that these accessories aren't actually part of the whole package. So let's begin. The first thing that I wanted to share with you is the price point of both of these e-bikes. At the time of this recording, the Velotric Discover one comes in at $1,250 and the Nomad one comes in at $1,450. So that's like a $200 difference between these e-bikes. But there are quite a lot of differences, so let's get into that as well. The first biggest difference that you're gonna notice right off the bat is the Nomad one is a fat tire e-bike versus the Discover one has a road tire. So I think that a big purpose for why you would buy either one of these really depends on your riding environment. If you like to ride on more rough terrain, I really think that the fat tire e-bike will be a better choice for you because it's a lot more comfortable over top of different bumps. With the fat tires, they really help to absorb all the bumps. They have nice front suspension and it has a nice thick seat. Versus the Discover one, I feel like would be best for like a commuter e-bike. So if you travel a lot of distances and you ride in the city or on pavement or smooth surfaces, I really feel like this e-bike will be better for you because it has the road tires on it. It still has front suspension, but the seat isn't quite as cushiony as this one. And also, this e-bike is a lot lighter. So this e-bike will be easier to handle if you have to maneuver it around. It's more agile when you're turning versus this one is a lot heavier and it's going to be a lot more to move it around. It's not as nimble, it's not as just like agile as this one. So those are some of the differences, but I really think it depends on what kind of environment you ride in. They both come with fenders to help keep the mud off you when you're riding in dirty surfaces, which I love that when they have fenders on them. And they also both have front headlights, which is really nice. But one of the differences between the Discover one is that it actually has a rear tail light versus this one. It just has a button that you have to press on your tail light and it's like battery powered. It's actually not integrated into the bike itself. So that's a +1 for the Discover one because I like that it has that integrated tail light with it. Now, I mentioned that I did have an older version of the Discover one, so I want to point out some of the things that are different between this and the new Discover one. And a few of those things is, first is the rear rack. I don't think it actually comes with it anymore. When I bought this, it came as a bundle package, so the rear rack came with it. But nowadays, I think if you were to order this online, it's not going to come with the rear rack. So I think that's comparable for both of these, that they won't come with the rear rack. And also a difference, when I first got this bike, it had mechanical brakes, which I don't enjoy mechanical brakes. They feel like, they just don't feel quite as nice. I don't feel like it's going to stop you as smoothly and as easily as the hydraulic brakes. But nowadays, I think they actually added hydraulic brakes to the Discover one. So I think the braking should be very comparable now. Just on my older version, I have mechanical brakes, so it's hard to compare that, but I think they have updated that, and so the braking should be very comparable between these two e-bikes. The range you're going to get out of this e-bike is going to be a little bit better than the fat tire one because it is a lighter e-bike, and so the motor doesn't have to work as hard to propel the bike forward versus this one. It is a little bit heavier. It has those thick fat tire tires, so it doesn't glide across the pavement as smoothly as well. So this one I think gets you 65 miles max range, where this one only gets you 55 miles max range. So this one might be a little bit better suited if you have to travel longer distances. If you were to ride both of these e-bikes without any pedal assist and you're just pedaling it like a normal bicycle, you're going to notice that it's easier to pedal the Velotric bike because the tires are smaller, so it rides more like a normal bike, versus this one is a little bit harder to pedal just as a normal bicycle. But the nice thing about this e-bike that this one doesn't have is a nice trigger shifter, which is going to make it pedal and feel a lot smoother when you have to shift through gears and actually pedal it like a normal bicycle. it's going to feel a lot more comfortable on this versus this one only has a 7-speed Shimano shifter on it, so it's not quite as nice as this one. The screen and the display on both of these e-bikes are identical. You can actually unlock faster speeds if you want to, but as the default setting, they both max out at 20 miles an hour. The color schemes for both of these e-bikes are very similar because it is the same brand and same company, so you can choose different colors. I have the mango yellow here, and then I have the gray over here, and both of them look really nicely. The one thing that I actually really like about this bike is I like the gum wheels on this thing. I like that look. I think they look really nice. It just gives the bike a more unique style and appearance, but this one still is amazing. I actually really enjoy the yellow color on this e-bike, but it doesn't have the gum wheels, but it does have the fat tires on it. So that's just a little bit, I think that comes down to personal preference though for you, which one you like better. Both of the handlebars on these bikes are like cafe style handlebars where they curve towards you, and they also have nice thick palm pads for both of the grips on these bikes. So riding both of these feel really comfortable when you have to ride it for long distance. They feel very natural. You can sit with an upright posture. It's more of just a nice cruise for a nice day like today. It's a blast taking either of these bikes out. They just feel really comfortable and really ergonomically made. For the most part, I am really pleased with both of these e-bikes. I feel like Velotric is a good brand when it comes to building e-bikes. They really care about quality, especially when it comes to their battery. They do a great job. They make sure most of their batteries are UL certified, which means it's a lot safer than a lot of other brands. So I'm pretty pleased with both of these e-bikes. I feel like I gravitate towards this one, the Nomad one, because it's only $200 more and I get these nice fat tire on it, and it just suits me better for the environment I ride in. I usually take this e-bike on a lot of gravel roads, and even our pavement is very bumpy as well. Here in Michigan, we don't have smooth roads. There's always potholes in them. So I just feel like a fat tire e-bike makes for a lot smoother ride versus a commuter e-bike. But I will take this if I'm going to ride on like pavement or go on like a pavement style trail. Then this is just easier to handle and I can be a little more nimble on it. So then it makes sense that I'll take this one. But for the majority of the rides where I live in, I'll end up gravitating towards a fat tire e-bike. So that's my comparison between these two e-bikes. If you're interested in either of these, I'll put a link in the description below for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up because that would help the channel out a lot. And enjoy. Sketch out another one. Bye. I don't know. See ya.